Hello everyone. Um, as you can see, I still have my Pixel 9 Pro and now I switched to Vivo X200 Ultra mostly due to the obviously excellent camera performance and much way better pictures than those from Pixel 9 Pro, but that's not the case today. I've been using Pixel 9 Pro since I believe November last year. Today is the 13th of May, so more or less 7 months. And obviously, I was really happy and I was really enjoying using the stock pure Android experience, and even Android 16 is on the way. I believe it will land on Pixel devices in coming 2 weeks. But now I'm switching to Vivo X200 Ultra, which has Origin OS, so the Chinese version, because this phone hasn't been released globally. Was it a tough decision? Yes or no? Yes, because obviously, if you are switching from such device like a Pixel, you need to really set your mind to fight with all this Chinese stuff inside. But I will today show you how I really try to make the Vivo system looks as much as possible as the pure Android system or a stock launcher out of Pixel 9 Pro. And no, because obviously this phone is very much, I'm not a native speaker, sorry for that. I don't know if you will understand it, but it's way more adjustable. So I used an external launcher. I deleted all the Chinese applications. I set everything, including also icons. And the same way I had it on my Pixel since 7 last months, and that's the result. So let me show you how it looks like and what are the advantages and disadvantages of having such a phone like a Chinese one. So as you can see, the wallpaper is the same, the widgets, camera widgets. So for instance, the clock comes from Google Watch. What's that? To read a code, bring the blah. Okay, it doesn't matter right now. Let me maybe reduce the brightness here on the Pixel. Now it should be better. So first noticeable difference is obviously the size of the phone. There's such a difference because obviously this is Pixel 9 Pro, not the 9 Pro XL. If I would have 9 Pro XL, it would be easier for me to really switch to such a gigantic phone like this one. And when it comes also to camera bump, as you can see, these two are not comparable at all. So the camera bump, which used to be for me like a big one, is now quite small in comparison to the big one in a Vivo device. Other than that, what's again the problem with the brightness? Other than that, I installed, as I mentioned, or maybe not, a Vivo Nova launcher here, and I set it up to look exactly like the launcher, Pixel launcher here on my Pixel phone. You might see some differences. So the first difference is obviously here on the search bar. So in a Nova launcher, you can adjust it and add additional shortcuts. For instance, in my Pixel phone, I had my shortcut to Google Store here. And here, as you can see, I have a different icon because I'm using different functionality, and I have my Google Store here. On the Vivo device, all the Google services work perfectly. Instead, as I've heard of, let's say, connection and cooperation with Wear OS smartwatches I'm using actually since years. Huawei watches, that's Huawei Watch Fit Pro, and I really like it so much, so I do not really have the problem with lack of cooperation between Origin OS and Wear OS devices, but you must know about it. What else? What are the other differences? So if I would swipe to the left, as you can see on both devices, I see Google Discover, Google Feeds, which works excellent on both phones. Obviously, the rest is exactly the same, but the differences obviously comes if we would go to, for instance, notifications. So in my Pixel phones and the notification, what's that? Notifications, as you can see, I see in the notifications, but firstly I see notifications, and on the top I can jump into the quick settings, while in using Nova Launcher here, when I swipe down, I see notifications only. I need to really use such a gesture to get an access to my quick settings. Therefore, I added a dedicated button, this one, by putting on my finger on the screen and then going to the settings. Sorry, I have everything in Polish, and I will also tell a few words about the language differences, and by adding such an option like where was that? Sorry, not even from the settings, but from Nova Launcher, from here. Sorry, I'm watching here, by adding the action, so-called and assigning as an action what exactly access to my quick settings. By clicking this button, I have an access, as you can see, to this, where to really make it easier to reach actually all those quick settings. What else? What are the others difference? Obviously settings and so on, because this is a pure Android experience here and it looks totally different. Okay, let me make it visible in this way. So as you can see, it looks totally different. I also am able to change the, let's say, the colors here to look like the one I have on my Pixel phone, but I really like more the colorful option, which is not currently available on Pixel phones. But the main difference is, as you can notice, the language. So in my Pixel phone, I have a Polish language set properly, and the global Chinese version of Vivo X200 Ultra doesn't really support Polish language. If we would go now, where was that? Let me quickly find it. System management and upgrade and language. As you can see, Polski, so Polish, has been set using the Set Edit application. That allows me to really download all the apps which are relevant for my region, but it doesn't really change the language of the phone, because this phone is not supporting my Polish language. Which languages are supported? This is very important for you as potential users. These are the languages. I will slowly scroll down. You can take a look. Oh shit, sorry. Okay, again, you can take a look at all the languages which are available and supported by the Chinese version of a Vivo device. What else? Other than that, I must admit that I don't really feel much a difference. So when it comes to smoothness, both devices works exactly the same way. Okay, maybe one thing, when we are going to recently used apps here in Pixel, it looks like this. When we are switching to Vivo, I can change the visuals to this and also to such a view like I had on my Pixel. So there are way more ways of customization using external launchers, and I decided to really install external launcher due to the fact that OriginOS has a lot of Chinese widgets called kits in their launcher, which are visible when you go to the applications tab. If you would choose not the application tab but like an iPhone style, then these are not visible. But I'm a fan of apps drawer, therefore I'm using it in this way. Is there anything else that is worth mentioning? All the applications are supported, as I said, all the Google apps. I have additional options coming from OriginOS, so like the original Origin apps, like an album or others. Wi-Fi calling, Wi-Fi calling, VoLTE, VoWiFi, everything works perfectly here. Android Auto works as well. So I'm really happy about the fact that I was able to switch and use it comfortably. It really feels like a Pixel phone now. And I made a small adjustments only. I have such a feeling because this phone has not even been rooted. The One thing that I was not expecting in a Chinese phone is the fact that I can set up way more things in the system, especially when it comes to privacy security, which is surprising to me. It's a Chinese phone, right? There are way more options, way more customization options, even in the settings itself. So, yeah, maybe I don't really like the way how the shortcuts panel looks like. The quick settings, I don't know how it is called in English, but to be honest, it's not a big deal. It's just a matter of getting used to it. So is it worth to buy such a Chinese phone? As I mentioned, living in Poland, in Europe, so it depends. So when it comes to technicalities and whether it would work with your network and so on, everything works properly. If you agree to really set your language to English or any other supported language by this phone, yes, then that's the first minor minus. I would say for me it's not a big deal. The other minus is obviously lack of support here in my country. So if something would happen to my Vivo phone, I would have to send it back to China. I bought it on Gistop store, and I would have to cover also shipping costs, and they will ship it back after repairment. So I think that this might take up to 2 months to send it and receive it back after repairment. So that's something that I hope will not happen anytime soon, because yeah, I'm changing phones quite. This is a record for me. 7 months with one phone. Wow, I really love Pixel device, but I really wanted to have something fresh, and the fresh I have here with the pictures which are being taken by this phone are like, as I said, like from DSLR phones. I really like how this phone looks, how it is built, how the materials, which materials has been used to really make this device. Pixel is not Pixel or Vivo. We cannot say that one of those is better. It depends on your needs. When it comes to camera, definitely Vivo, recording videos and so on. But when it comes to, let's say, daily, let's say, experience using the Pixel stock Android system and all those AI stuff available here, and the fact that I have a warranty here and so on, the Pixel wins. And it's actually cheaper than the Vivo X200 Ultra. Currently, I'm waiting for the photographic kit because I ordered it from Gistop as well. It's on the way. So they firstly sent me this phone. And that's the deal breaker. But to be honest, I bought this phone in order to really miss a bit a Pixel system, because I would like to buy Pixel 10 Pro or 10 Pro XL when it will be released this autumn, and it would make no sense to switch from Pixel 9 Pro to Pixel 10 Pro. Therefore, I want to use this one, the Vivo, and then switch to Pixel 10 Pro if I will not fall so much in love with the photos made by this phone, because they are amazing. Actually, I will give you a link in the description to this video to maybe some samples, because I don't want to show it now. I don't want to spend the time, to be honest, with editing videos, blah blah. That's unnecessary. I just wanted to show you that you can really adjust almost everything in your phone. Okay, one thing that also is a problem for some users in Poland, this is what I understood based on our discussions on Facebook groups, is that in Pixel you can easily switch between maybe recent apps like this, which is not possible now here in this phone, which is it depends on the muscle memory, so to say. If you get used to it, it might be problematic for you. I just use this gesture and jump into the app I really would like to jump to. That's not a big problem for me. If you have any question, let me know. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I just wanted to share my experiences with you. And as I said, I'm not regretting at all switching to a Vivo phone. Maybe one remark: I don't really like this etui, this case. I ordered a new one from AliExpress already. It feels cheap and it's very slippery. I almost dropped my phone 3 times already, so you need to really maybe think about buying something else to really protect your phone. For my Pixel phones, phone I used also a different case from AliExpress. So it depends, but it's not so simple like the previously, the white original one from Vivo Box. So that's it, more or less. Maybe at the end, Vivo has way better battery life, camera obviously, as I mentioned. The smoothness, the way how it works is exactly the same. Anything else other than that, these are obviously totally different phones, but if you are wondering if it might be worth to switch, if you have time to really set it up properly, delete all the Chinese stuff and so on, and play with the settings, there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube, then yes. And obviously, if you can agree to not have the phone with the warranty here locally, then yes. Technically, it should work perfectly, I think, everywhere around the world, especially, at least in Europe, sorry for that. But yes, I really like it, and looking forward for Pixel 10 Pro. Thanks a lot and have a nice day or an evening. See ya next time.